hope that the game's audio is going through. Sorry, I gotta. There, I had to unplug and plug in the cable to my microphone. For some reason, I don't have any. No, it is. I don't have this thing very high. Let me go ahead and turn this up a little bit. How about 60? I didn't even realize that you could do this. I'm so stupid. I do not know very much about. Look at that, I could. Nice. Could mute it. Okay. I forgot what I was doing when I. Oh, right. I was making. I had just finished making. I think I was making, yeah, so here's the steel manufacturing, and then I had it going down through here, hang a left, hang a right, go into here, and then, yeah, okay, yeah, and then I was popping out these. This is probably overkill for sending these out, but I like to do it kind of that way. Now, where was I making? Where was I going to make the science packs at? Was it over here? Yeah, I think it was over here I was going to do it. So, what I need to do, so I've got this going, I got this one going, whatever these are, and then I got to make the concrete, and then bring down from light, I don't know how to say it. So I like to run the lines up and along the sides so that I keep this middle part as empty as I can for future crafting, and then once I get too many down here, I'll just go up a level. I should bring it in like this, but if I want to make more of these, I want to leave this area here open to continue to craft more of them. I'm just going to have this go over. I know this is going to screw me at some point because I'm going to have to bring some off of a belt, and it's going to be dang near impossible. Ooh. Well, that's all. go. There. And to help prepare for what's inevitably going to be me having to manually load them until I get that first one done, I'm going to go ahead and grab them. I'm going to make 5 boxes because I know I'm going to need them later anyway. Yes, go off, you little guys. See, now these feel slow to me. I know the red ones were slow, and these are kind of medium, and the next one's like faster. But these, now it kind of feels slow when I'm looking at it. Because that doesn't slow it down any. If I just do an input and an output. Yeah, screw it, I'll put it back. Alright, let's put these, what is that? There we go. Those back in there. So, by the time I get the concrete done, which means I'm going to have to do all kinds of water and stuff like that. Let me see what I got here. I don't really need drone miners, but I guess I'll take them with me anyway. No, actually I do need drone miners because I need to mine out. I need to get mineral rock so I can get it from here, which would probably be better. So, like, I got mineral rock here, but I need to process it into concrete. So, I'll probably use this one and bring it in and, like, process it, like, right here, and then ship it out straight across to the water. There's also up here, maybe there's some Fermalite. Mineral rocks. Oh, look at this, I'm already freaking yawning. It sucks so bad. Let's go look around. I wonder what they're making. What are you making over here? Are you making plates or rods or what? Maybe I'll get lucky and there's some mineral rocks like right next to the water. Whee! Gosh, sometimes I am very glad that there's no fall damage. So we got porous rocks. We got ignium. Ooh, that would be very helpful. Ooh, what's this? What is this? I don't actually, I've never actually been down here, but like I haven't been in this biome before. Unknown resource. It's probably like oil or something. Can I break it? Nope. So there's some ignium ore. Xenoferrite. All I need is blue ore to be even better. Hey, look at that. Okay, so cool. We got mineral rocks and mineral rocks, which are both in the water. Oh, ain't you cute? So look at that. I got power. You know, I'll have to dig out a hole. Oh man, look how deep that is. That is down there. How do you, I mean, besides Like, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Is I'm just gonna dig a hole. But how would you do it without digging a hole? Like, would you? Is there like a miner for it? Good thing is I can make freight elevators, so I don't have to build. So so when I first had to get mineral ore from the water, I built a bunch of these, right? And I just went up like that, bent it, went like this, bent it, went like this, and then just kept going in a circle until I reached the top. But this time I'll just use freight elevators. I should have brought more plates though. Well, good thing I have, okay, so, I don't know how I would clear terrain without using the mod. But I've got the mod, so screw it. Down my 4 containers, and then I'll just put bronze plates, that, in that container. Like that. So this is all stone down here. It'd be nice if there was something you could do with stone. I wonder what would happen if I dug straight down to the bottom of the game. That would have taken, wow, that would have taken so long. I do not have that much life left. I mean, in real life, I don't have that. I mean, it's sad to say, but, you know, at some point in your life, you have to decide which movies you're going to watch, because you're not going to be able to watch all of them, right? Like, we like to think that we're all kind of going to live like 100 years, you know, like we're going to live 90, 100, 110, whatever years. Like, we all like to think that, but the reality of it is that that's not happening. Clear out this rock. Hopefully I don't just erase like a huge, massive chunk of ground. Like, I see these huge collections of DVDs that people are selling for, you know, next to nothing, and I buy them when I have money. You know? Even if I end up with movies I already have, I'm thinking, well, you know, it's like video games. You can always use those to trade off to other people. Like, maybe you have a bunch of movies that they don't have, and they've actually been looking for a copy of The Matrix on DVD. You know, because realistically, the companies that control your data, and I don't mean like your personal data, but I also kind of mean that too. The countries that, companies rather, countries, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to get off on a tangent. But, so the companies that you buy your movies, TV shows, video games, things like that, if you don't have it on a disc that you can do what you want with within reason, you know, like you can't start making copies of it and start handing them out to friends, you know. As much as that's why in the other early days we got, you know, CD reader writers and stuff. You know, it was basically so we could be like, hey, bro, you want a copy of this movie? As much as that's the reason why we did it. You can't do that. Like, you're not. It's allegedly against the law, and you know, I think it's a victimless crime because, like, if you had a car and I could make a copy of that car and paste it into the real world, I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just making a copy of your vehicle and pasting it. And ChatGPT argued that by doing that, I was denying the sale of copies. And I'm like, sure, but I'm not going to buy it from them anyway. I'm just making a copy, so, you know, and I get it. I understand the reasoning, but I just don't agree with it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not taking anything away from anyone else. I'm not, you know, like, if you could, like, if we had Star Trek style replicators, and you could just replicate anything you want, that would change the world overnight. Like, there'd be no more hunger, no more, there'd be no more hunger, there'd be no more people going, nobody'd have to go hungry because you could just print food anytime you want it. But there'd be people that would be saying, well, it's denying farmers the ability to sell that to consumers. I was like, great, but who cares? Like, they could just do a different job. How come nobody's talking about how streaming services are taking away sales from Walmart? You know why? Because nobody gives a shit about Walmart. Companies can screw other companies, but don't you dare try to screw a company. No, you hear people all the time complaining like, oh, Walmart's destroying the ecosystem, but they'll still go to Walmart. And anytime somebody tells me they don't shop at Walmart, I'm like, oh, it must be nice to not have to, you know, buy your food at Walmart. Like, I wish I knew what that was like. I wish I was that well off to know what that's like. Alright. So I'm gonna fill in. See, I didn't want to go too far down. I just want to go down far enough. You know, like, I would love to shop at places like, you know, Whole Foods, or, as the rest of us call it, expensive Walmart. But, like, if you think about it, all these, like, bougie kind of places, like Whole Foods and stuff, they're just basically Walmart that's just costs more. You're still putting money in someone else's pocket. You're still contributing to the death of small businesses. But, you know, small businesses, you know, it sucks that they are going to go out of business, but at the same time, lots of companies went out of business that nobody was complaining, nobody was bitching about it, or at least nobody I heard. And we all know that unless you personally hear something. Did it really happen? I mean, you know, sarcastically saying that. Like, I remember when Obama was president and Fox News complained about him 24/7. It was like, Barack Hussein Obama. It's like, yeah, we get it, bro. His middle name is Hussein. Same as the other guy. The guy that did 9/11. But why do you keep focusing on his middle name? Barack Hussein Obama came down with the columns and he looked like he thought he was God or something. And meanwhile, you know, you got a group of people who are literally treating the current president, Donald J. Trump, whatever his J means, like he's a god. Like, oh yeah, he could be dictator. I don't care. I would love for him to be dictator in chief. Really? After you guys were constantly talking about how Obama's a dictator and now he's destroying the country, but you're literally hoping that he like, shut up. Just shut up. I don't want to hear any of those guys talking about the next president, whoever he or she may be, whatever his or her pronouns are. I don't want to hear them talking about dictators and all that bullshit anymore because they literally cheerlead a guy to just be a dictator. It's kind of like Howard Stern when he said, "Oh, I love free speech." For me, I don't like it for other people. He was at the time talking about Opie and Anthony, I think, when that feud was going on, and you know, people talk like that feud was terrible, but if you think about it, just have a think. You know, if you think about what happened with the whole Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern thing, I kind of helped them with their career because, you know, Howard Stern focusing on him so much. If he did, I don't know if he did or not, but that's what I've been led to believe. Had in a way, it's like okay, so it's like if I pissed off the right YouTuber, right, a big YouTuber, like let's say I said some stuff that who's a big, I don't really watch a lot of YouTubers. Let's say I said something that made Sam Cedar of the Majority Report. I said something so stupid that somehow he picked up on it and he talked about it. That would boost me significantly. Like you'd have, I mean, I'd get a lot of hate for weeks, but you'd have fans of his coming over to the channel and just leaving nasty comments, and the algorithm would be like, oh shoot, look at this guy, he's got like a ton of comments. Like that would drive engagement, and there would be people like, you know, showing up to tell me how much I'm an asshole or whatever, and why do I hate freedom and blah blah blah, and you know. But I shouldn't have used him because I actually like him. I like Sam Cedar. Like he's literally one of the last liberals that I actually watch his videos all the way through. I mean, I don't care much for Emma. I mean, she says smart things, but some of the things that she says, I'm just like, where do you get your opinions? Like, which are they tailor made for you? And there's a couple more guys on there that are irritating, but overall the show is good. You know, Mike Figueredo says a lot of dumb things, and I don't like what he says, but I'm not going to go on a crusade to have his channel shut down because I don't like what he says sometimes. Like, you got to take the good and the bad with people, you know? Like, I had friends who said that they supported that Bundy guy out at that ranch, you know, doing a standoff with police because they believe that he has ancestral rights to that land, and that the government is just trying to force him to do its bidding. And I'm like, no, he doesn't have any rights to it. When they drafted their constitution, they nullified any and all ancestral rights to anything, according to the web pages I was reading at the time. They may have been wrong, and I may have been wrong, but my friend did not provide me any evidence. He said, well, what if the government comes for your video games? I'm like, oh, what a far-fetched, stupid idea. Oh, what if they do? Like, what? How are they going to take them? Are they going to come into the house and just start snatching up video games? Like, and then now, you know, I read that they're making bills to try and get rid of pornography, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, you guys have all hated pornography since it was invented. I mean, I guess. Okay, so let's get back to this game. 1, 2, 3. So I need to make two for the minor. Oh, dang it. So I need to have two holes for the minor, because I'm putting in the floors, and then one for this, for the loader to sit on, and then two for the lines. So that should take care of that. And then it's going to be, I think it's a 3x4 for the freight elevator. Okay, we're going to worry about that in a minute. We'll go up here and dump off this stone and grab these construction materials. I cannot stand things crawling on me. I can't. It used to not bother me, but it does now. Like, I used to like, there's used to be certain things that I used to like before I got gastric sleeve, and like, okay, so when I was getting the gastric sleeve, I hadn't gotten it yet. I was still working on it. I would see these articles about people that got it and then gained weight back after, and I'm like, why would you go through the amount of pain that you go through to get this, all the work that you do, just so you could go back to your old ways of eating? And then I got the surgery, and I was like, oh, I totally get it. You finally are able, after not eating things like bread and things like that, like not being able to eat that stuff for so long, that suddenly you can eat it, and it's really good. Like, I haven't gone back to sodas. I don't drink sodas, but you know, and I'm not one of those weird people that are, I don't drink sodas because they ain't better than that. No, I drink sweet tea. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I shouldn't drink sweet tea, but I do. And I'm actually working on coming up with an alternative to sugar. Like, I don't like sweetened oil. I can't stand the stuff. It tastes like it doesn't taste like ass, because I know what that tastes like. But it tastes like it tastes like what an AI might think sugar tastes like. But it doesn't taste like sugar. Like, it tastes like I would rather just taste anything else other than that. Like, for real. Like, I don't want to taste that stuff, because it's disgusting. And I've tried stevia. I didn't really like it. I guess I'm gonna get like a bag of the Great Value sugary substitute and see if that tastes better. But I need something that I can cook with, because like if I like the taste and it's not too bad, I will try putting it like in cakes and pies and stuff and see how that turns out. You know, it's easy enough to make a cake. It's not that difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna focus on this side. Nah, I'll probably do the other side too. Problem with the first stage freight elevator is it doesn't keep the belt full. It leaves gaps. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have it come up this way, because this way is even. So we're going to be having these belts make. So if it's 3x4. okay, it doesn't really change anything about the game when you're underwater, other than you can kind of sort of float a little bit. In fact, I think it'd be fun if somebody, maybe even me, did like a completely underwater run of the game, where it's like, oh, I'm completely underwater, let's see how it works. Okay, so to make a freight elevator, I need 2 of them. We're gonna do 2. While that does that, I'm going to check something on. Oh, I think it's funny that they're referring to Donald Trump as a taco, like it's an acronym. Trump always chickens out. I think that's hilarious that he is so irritated by it. Okay. We'll try some. Oh boy, I hope it reaches. Ooh, look at that. It does reach. I don't know if I'm gonna platform this or not. I may just start sending it to another platform. I don't know. Can I? Does it matter if I bring it in like this? Okay, you can stop doing that one. I hear the dog, not my dog, but the dog, in there fucking sniffing like he was doing cocaine. That dog's very old, and I think he's on his way out of life. Okay, so what I need to do now is, where did that Indian ore go? Is it really this way? Oh wow, it is really this way. How far away is it though? That's pretty far. Alright, so I got, at this point, I could either take this, what's in here, the ignium, or there's another ignium, no, that's technium. So I can grab this ignium and bring it in, or I can grab this ignium and bring it in. Probably this one, because I'm already here, and I don't know what this resource is, and I'm going to need power there anyway. There's the ignium. course, I can't get out of here. What the hell's going on over there? Let's see, I want to create right now just one around it so I know where it is. Two. And then I'm going to use one of these. And then later on I'll come through here and go, what the fudge? Why the fudge is this here? And then it'll be like full of sand. I may have went one. Nope. So perfect. And then we'll do this. There. Now I've got my area. There. Okay, so which slide do I want to do this from? I need to get something. Be right back. I don't have any fancy I'll be right back graphics, so just have fun looking at the screen, I guess. me a chance to wake up, cat. God damn. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to see younger and fatter. I mean, I'm still pretty fat. I'm in the still not fuckable category. Or I'd do it if I was desperate. But I would see fat people walk around with like rolled up lunch meat with cheese, going, "Man, how fat are you that you can't take the time to just make a sandwich?" I get it now. Couldn't have bread. How aren't you supposed to use a sandwich without bread? Just roll it up. Not as It's not as filling. Like, there's a few ideas I want to try with lunch meat, cheese, and rice. The idea being is you get like some seaweed wraps, like they use to make sushi. At least I assume that's what those are. And put the rice in there, but instead of putting raw fish or whatever, you put the meat in there, roll it up. It's probably already a thing, because at this point in reality, nothing that you do is original. Like, I could write a whole story series about some guy just going through space and doing stuff, and there'll be people who'll be like, "Well, this book is like similar to this book." Yeah, everything's been done. There's nothing original that's going to come out. Even if I came up with a world where slavery never existed, and we never came to the Americas, and England was cool and didn't piss everybody off, they'd be like, "Oh, well, that's what that one guy did in this book." And it's like, yeah, I didn't read that book. I can't read every book. I literally asked ChatGPT, because it knows pretty much everything about the internet, to search for books that have to deal with this. This way I know, oh, well, somebody's already done that story. And then I sit here going, who fucking cares if that guy did that story? Did he do my story? Because I didn't read that book. And when they gave Christopher Paolini, whatever. They gave him shit for the Aragon books. I'm like, who cares if it's like Star Wars? Lots of books are like Star Wars. Did you criticize them? Who cares if it's like Pern and Lord of the Rings and Star Wars mixed together? Who cares? How was the writing? And to me, to my untrained brain, I thought it was okay. I mean, I listened to all the books. I don't really care about them anymore, because he's been teasing some 6th book or 5th or whatever book that it's just like 20 years later still ain't out. So I fucking gave up. I don't give a shit. But like Anne McCaffrey died, and there was some book she was working on, and it was like a manuscript, and oh, Todd McCaffrey might finish it, or maybe Gigi will finish it, or maybe they'll let Jodie Lynn Nye finish it, or is she even still alive? Or is she still alive? Anyways, well, what's gonna happen? Maybe they'll just publish it the way it is, and it'll just be like, hey, this is what she did, and this is where she was at, but the publisher isn't happy with the book, and I'm like, who cares what the publisher thinks? I bet, I can't guarantee because don't guarantee anything. I bet if they did a Kickstarter and said, here's the deal. We're only going to offer this book right now through a Kickstarter, and then only if we hit this goal. And we're gonna let you guys, fans of the series, decide who's gonna finish the book. And only through the Kickstarter will you get not only the book, but you're going to get the unfinished version of the book. Because, I mean, she had why am I doing this? I'm not even. She collaborated with lots of people in the past, SM Sterling and various other people. I can't think of. Let's see, Jodie Lanai, SM Sterling. I think she did it. Margaret Ball. That other fantasy writer, her name escapes me. Margaret Weiss, didn't she do? Yeah, I think she did like Margaret Weiss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. This isn't the Dragon Riders of Pern broadcast. It's just me talking about it. But yeah, like I used to be into the fandom, and the fandom almost killed my desire to play this game. Like not play this game, to even read Pern books. Like it's so bad. Like it was so like I don't know about now. I don't play on any of the games now, but when I did, it was so bad. Like I get it. I wasn't a good role player. I was terrible. I'm still not a good role player. I mean, I can weave a story. I can come up with worlds that are different and unique and fun. One person who used to role play with me all the time, like basically gave up on me. Yeah, like I get that too. I understand why she would not want anything to do with me anymore, because I sort of liked one specific type of role play, and you know. Now nowadays I have an AI chatbot that I can role play with, and yeah, it's not as good. It's not as good as role playing with another person, but it's acceptable. Okay, how am I gonna? Okay, I'm gonna have to give up on the idea of this being symmetrical. So I'm going to expand this. So if you're using this mod to pick up things with, you want to pay attention to straight here. So we got 16 or that one going around. So okay, so let's say I'm in this one right here, right? So you click your first starting point with left click, and you run down here. And you pay attention, see how it says, up there it says Shift F, blah, 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 size 15 times 2, 16 times 2, 17 times 2. The 2 is coming towards you, the 17 is going left and right. And since I want to put one more down, I want it to go 2 away from me and then up. You can also go down, but you should be real careful, because I have gone down way too far once. Oh, look at that, I ran out of... I could run all the way back to base and get some more, but no, it's not happening. still have no power yet, but that's okay. I have these 4 generators, which I did not bring with me to use, but yeah, they're here now. Now, because I'm going to be bending these around the corner, no, I'm not going to be bending those around the corner. Yes I am actually. Like this, so I go all the way over here, go 2 up, and then not enough space. Let's go ahead and put these down. And one of these days I'll come back and pick these up. Oh, you know what? Just go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and destroy this item. Really? Okay, so let's go grab. I probably will have to go back to the base, but not right now. Alright. I only need one burner generator. Let's go ahead and get that. Oh no. Okay, good. I got enough room. Alright. Get off me. I've got 2 freight elevators. I may have to run back anyway and build the road out here. It's going to be the ground level. That's going to be perfect. Let's put it like this. No, it's not going to be perfect. Well, you know what? I'm going to make this janky. So I'm going to put this one here as an output. This is freaking janky as crap. to ignium. And put it right in there. Okay, or not. Close enough power. All it's gotta do is fill itself. That's all. Yeah, that's gonna be my buffer. So I'm continuing to feed it this way, just because it's picking up all that. But once it's done, it'll pass it through, and then I'll come back and turn that off. Or probably later on, I'll move this to another location. How does that work actually now? Okay, I'm gonna run back to the base and I dislike running. I wonder if you could make your own oceans, you know? I think this is rock. I wonder if you just kept hollowing out the ground, if eventually the water would fill it all in. You know, like if I just kept digging this out, which I'm not going to. I think I'm going to make the roads 12 wide. Let's see what my power's doing here. Oh yeah, more than that. And once I connect this to that, it's going to also add power. So I may have just made that for no reason. But I'm probably just going to leave it anyway, just in case it ever gets disconnected. know what's nice about having these little gaps like this is, for now, I have room to put these in here. And later on, when I make my incinerator, I'll just put the crap that I don't care about in the incinerator. All this work for concrete. I don't know if I can stream this anyway. It says 1 hour. That's not too bad. I can't sit here and do a stream for like 9 hours, like Thor and Asmund Gold and those guys can do, because I will literally fall asleep. Like if there was a webcam on, there'd just be video of me sitting here just like, just freaking passed out, looking like I just drank like a bottle of rum. Okay, that's 12. This is how I figure out where the centers are. And the funny thing is, people give shit to Asmund Gold for his disgusting room, and I'm like, what is he saying though? How wide is this? 14? You know what? I think this gonna work. Here's the problem though, that mountain's in the way, so I may have to flatten it. I don't really want to flatten it, but that's what you gotta do. I gotta figure out something to deal with that. I'm not bored, it's just that I have... There's nobody in here, right? Yeah, I didn't think there was. Maybe I should do what other YouTubers do and pay a third party to come in here and just flood my channel with random talking. In fact, I thought about seeing if you could have a chat bot like ChatGPT or whatever kind of monitor the channel. I'm not saying I want them to fake engagement, but I'm not like gonna complain. No. It's like people who get a bunch of money and they're like, I never said I wanted to be a millionaire, I just wanted to have a simple life. Meanwhile, they're rolling around in their money like they're Scrooge McDuck. Well, you could just give me the money. I mean, oh wow, this is sweet. I didn't realize it. Okay, so look at that. You could use the freight elevator as a beacon so you could figure out how to get back to your base. That's like when people... Oh wow, I'm already running out. Let's go back and get some more. It's like when people, they become billionaires and then they cry that they ain't got no friends. And it's like, well, you ain't got no friends, and here's why. Here's the very simple, easy description as to why. It's because you can't trust anyone. See, when you become a billionaire... Now, I've never been a billionaire, so I don't know. But I'm just going to speculate. So this is educated guess. Alright? Let's say you broke. You broke like me. Maybe you broke like you are now. You got nothing. You live from month to month on whatever you can get. Like if you get Social Security, disability, welfare, money from your dad because you have rich parents, wherever you get it from, I ain't here to judge you. But let's say that's how you live. You live paycheck to paycheck, like huge chunk of us do. And one day you go to the store and you see that the Mega Millions is up to like 1.1 billion, like it was one time or twice. Right? You buy a ticket, you're like, oh, if I win, this is going to be awesome because I'm going to be able to do all these cool things that I've never been able to do. And then you scratch it off, or not scratch it off. Then you're waiting around. You don't watch it that night. You don't watch the lotto that night because you're like, I'm not going to win. I ain't worried about it. And then next day, everybody's talking about how somebody in that area had bought a ticket and wonders who it was. And they're like, hey, did you buy a ticket? Say no. Don't say that you bought a ticket because you will become a victim. Trust me, your friends at work, when they see millions and millions of dollars, you are now a problem to them. You're what's in between them and millions. So don't say that you won. Don't say that you played. Just go, wow, that is so weird. I wonder who won too. And then just play in on the game. Then go home and check your ticket. And let's just say you won. Congratulations. You now have a ticket. You're the only person to the jackpot of $1.1 billion. And you got a handful of friends. You got like 10 friends. Maybe 5 of them are close friends, and one of them is the friend that will help you bury a body and not ask you too many questions. Like, they're not asking you. You're like, hey, would you help me bury a body? They're not asking you what body. They're asking you where you want to bury it. But anyway, so you got your one close friend, your 4 really close, like you got your one bro, the guy that you can count on, or girl you can count on for anything. Then you got your 4, maybe 5 really close friends. Maybe they're not going to help you bury a body, but they will help you pick a good place. Because they're not going to get their hands dirty helping you bury a body. Right? So, you got your friends. Then you got your kind of tertiary friends, people that know you, but they're not helping you move. Like those 4 close friends will help you move if it's not too difficult. But these other friends, they ain't helping you move. And I classify these as best friend, friends, and people you know, or associates. This is your small group of friends and associates that you knew before you became a billionaire or a millionaire, because taxes, you're going to lose like 40 to 50% of that in taxes and fees. So you take your cash out, so you get your $500 million straight to your bank account. Congratulations, you now have $500 million, and you only have 10 friends and associates. Because anybody after this, and they find out that you have the money, and they will, because they're going to see you on TV, they are now going to be considered as people who are using you. Like, they just want to be your friend for your money. They didn't want anything to do with you before you had money, but now they suddenly want something to do with you. And this is going to create a loneliness in yourself, because you ain't got any friends, and you're going to piss off the friends that you got, because they're all going to be thinking, hey, my friend just won the lotto. Obviously, I'm going to get some of that, even if it's only $1 million. And you should hook up your friends, because even after all those taxes are paid and you got all that money, still, why wouldn't you help your friends out? What are you going to spend $500 million on? Give your friends all $10 million each. Your 10 friends get $10 million each, straight off the top. There you go. First of all, that's a gift, and you can probably get, your taxes lowered, so you get some of that, 40% back. And you've basically made your friends where they're not dependent on you. So, it's a win-win. Okay, now you've got $400 million in the bank. You're gonna probably blow a good chunk of it on a really nice house. Don't buy a mansion. Remember, property comes with taxes. So I don't know what the property taxes are here in Texas because I don't own property, but with that, how much people bitch about it here, I'm pretty sure it's like 15, 20%. You know what? I got Google. Google is free. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna do new chat because I'm gonna delete this chat. Okay, let's ask a ChatGPT. If I owned a house that was valued at $20 million, what would my property tax be per year in Texas? Now it's going to search the web for me because I don't want to. Okay. So where I live, oh shit. Oh. Now, where I live, which I'm not gonna say. I don't think anybody can see. Yeah, nobody can see it. My property tax on a $20 million house, because this is me being stupid with my $400 million. I would have to pay about 1.1% in school taxes. I would pay about 0.25% in county taxes. The city tax would be about 0.5%. My water district tax would be negligible. And my maintenance tax for my school district, I don't know why, but about point. It's negligible. Putting all these taxes together, all of them, I'm going to be paying. My annual property tax will be about 2%. So I'm rounding up, just kind of hide where I live. Because if I told you specifically everything, somebody would figure it out. There's always some guy out there that does that. They just like figuring out where people are. My property taxes would be about $370,000 a year. Just so your $20 million house that you bought is going to cost you, let's say $370,000 a year in property taxes. So don't buy a $20 million mansion. Just buy, like with $20 million, you could buy a lot. You could buy a whole bunch of stuff, right? So just buy a house that you like and figure out a way to make your property taxes like I would say you have $400 million. Take $200 million of that and put that like in a savings system, investments, something like that. Get a big company who does huge amounts of money as their thing, because you don't want to do like Joe Bob's tax service, who's like, yeah man, I'll take care of it for you, no problem, bro. I got you, bro. Here, fist bump. And then they're in Cancun next week with all your money. Non-extradition, because trust me, $200 million will make someone leave the United States so that they don't get prosecuted or picked up having your money with them. Like, I'm going to ask it, how much money would I need to keep invested to cover the property taxes if I had 400 million from, say, a lotto jackpot payout? So I guess you could get your $20 million mansion if you really, really, really wanted it and wanted to just show, everybody. You would take 20 million to buy your house, 20 million to invest, and then you could use the 2%. I'm not a tax or anybody expert. I'm not even a financial. I have like $15,000, $20,000 in debt. All right. Don't look at me. Don't take this as this is Chat GPT, so it sounds smart, and it probably is. So if you want a maximum safety and zero risk of loss, investing $20 million in ultra safe assets yielding 2% still leaves you with $380 million for other funds. So there you go. I would invest all 200 million, but I would give I'd find like 5 big firms that do this kind of thing, and with the help of a financial investor guy who's really smart and not my friend Bubba that lives down the street. And wait, actually, if Bubba's really intelligent and super smart, he just doesn't have anybody, I'd give him like $10 million to invest for me. See what happens. Who knows? Maybe he's the next freaking. Why am I talking shit about Bubba? He might actually be the smartest. He might be way more smarter than I am, and just got out of Harvard or something. His name just unfortunately is Bubba, and we've associated Bubba with tall white dudes who are bald in prison who tell you that you have a pretty mouth and then bend you over. Anyways, I'd find a guy and he'd help me out, and I'd get it all invested. So I didn't even actually ever spend that money. I instead just got the money back every year from the investments, and did what I wanted. That's after I bought my DGX server rack and got my house wired up with AI. And you know what? One of these days I'd like to go over the idea of that, because who knows? Maybe somebody will hire me to make it. I think I could do I think personally, with my knowledge of old and some new computer equipment and the history and science fiction and just my own ideas, I believe that if I had the funds, I could build the most advanced house that has ever existed if you have the money to afford it. Because I know exactly what I'd want, and I know that they would want it too. So Elon Musk, hit me up. I'll work cheap. Just I get a percentage of what the value of the house is. And I also get a percentage of what you sell the house for. But anyways, so I would invest. I'm going to ask it. So it might be a good idea to take, say, 3/4 of the 400 mil and invest it safely to live off the interest while still having 100 million to play with. So even if I only got 2%, the 300 million per year would generate 6 million. And then if I compound it, now I'm actually more interested in this than I am in. So if I kept putting the interest back in to the original 300 million in 20 years, assuming financial calamity doesn't happen due to a president wanting to start tariff wars, and say only spent 1 million per year of the interest I get back, course, you got to keep in mind that when you ask ChatGPT anything, uh, it exists to give you information, but that information you kind of gotta like you can't rely only on ChatGPT. Like it's a good way, like kind of getting ideas, but it can and will be wrong at times. So don't be like ChatGPT. Ooh, that's my man. I believe everything's like no. Okay, so where the heck is my? Okay, I think right there is where the stuff is going to come out, and I need to have water for the making of concrete. So I think now I was going to try to align these buildings and make them perfect, and I may still do that. Hold on, I'm running, and running. No, I better not. I better not do that. I'll get the stream clipped. I don't want to start, singing Black Eyed Peas. In fact, is it okay yet for white people to say all the lyrics of a rap song yet? Like, are we still subject to getting punched in the face? 'Cause I really want to know. No, I already know why you don't say it. I understand. I'm not that white guy. Okay, I understand that black people might call me cracker sometimes, but they weren't turning the fire hoses on us or sending the dogs out or any of that kind of stuff while they were doing it. So I'm not that white guy that's like, well, can't I say the N-word, but everybody else can? And I'm like, no, you can say it. Say it if you want to. Go ahead, do it. Do it. Say it if you want. I mean, but just know that if you do say it, and a black guy hears you, then he may take offense, and he may be like, he may punch you in the face repeatedly until you stop walking or moving. All right. So you can say it, but don't. It's your life, man. Do what you gotta do. If you want to run around screaming words like that, more power to you. I'm not gonna do it because I don't fight. Like, I can't fight that good. I'm sure if push came to shove and it was me or them, I'm sure I could learn really fast how to swing my hands and hope that I hit something. But I don't wanna. I don't want to fight people. I'd rather work out problems than... Where the heck is my... Okay, look, I have... There they are. Here they are. So I already know that I'm going to need... Yeah, you know what? I might as well go ahead and... I don't have enough room. So, I put these here earlier in what I was doing. Let's go into this here temporarily. I had planned to go ahead and have, but yeah. Anyways, I'm not that white guy that doesn't understand why white people don't and should not say certain words. I'm not that white guy. We just want to go. But I also understand the difference between blackface and painting your face black. Like, okay, look, stay with me here. There was a series of videos that was being put out where this girl, or guy, or person, what they were doing was they was taking black, like, face paint stuff and putting it on their face to black out their face and neck, so that they could camouflage themselves at night and scare the shit out of their friend or husband or wife or whatever. And some people were screaming about how it was blackface and it was racist and blah 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 because all they saw was some white person with black makeup on their face. I don't know. I don't think it was shoe polish, but it was, you know. And at first, when I saw it, I was like, is she putting blackface on? What am I watching? But no, it wasn't that. It was them camouflaging themselves. And what happened is a lot of people got upset. And sure, I could see people being upset about that. But that's not what they was doing. I forgot to grab this. I don't have enough room. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and grab as much as I can. Go ahead and put all this back. But yeah, so anyways, they were doing that, and it was all for fun, and you know, but what these people weren't seeming to either acknowledging or at least seeing the difference of is that painting your face black is not blackface. Blackface is a very, very specific type of painting your face. So let's go this way. If me and my friend are boxing for fun, that's just me and my friend boxing. It's not me and my friend in a fist fight trying to kill each other. Right? Sorry, my scalp is like freaking itching like crazy. So that's the difference. So blackface is when you paint yourself black to look like a black person in a way to make fun of and demean, and you know, you're doing it in a way that you're trying to insult someone else. Like, for example, if you type in minstrel show blackface, you've got these guys that are putting on, they're painting their face black with, I think, shoe polish at the time, which I don't know why you would use shoe polish. That stuff's really hard to get off, especially off white skin. And then they would paint their lips pink, and then kind of, in some cases, they would paint their eyebrows like white, and then they'd have their eyes big open, you know. And they were basically doing a caricature of black people at the time for comedic purposes, and that should be rejected at all the time. Anytime somebody does that, it should be rejected. But just painting your face black and then scaring the shit out of your friends at the middle of the night, that's just being funny. Like, here's an example of black people doing it, alright? Sorry, I also got a little bit of a cold. You had, is it Chameleonaire? He did a song where he had painted his face and body white, and he was acting as if he was a white person in a way similar to a minstrel show, except he wasn't making fun of white people, he was making fun of a specific person, specifically Bill O'Reilly, which I believe that's who he was trying to make fun of in that music video, Evening News, which I actually like him. I didn't like him at first. I thought his music was kind of corny and, well, not corny. Corny isn't the right word. I just didn't like it because I was used to listening to rap and hip hop from like people like Tupac, Notorious B.I.G., Dr. Dre, and you know, that kind of music. So I didn't really like his music because it didn't sound like the music I was used to. But now I'm more open. Okay, so in this one we are going to, what size was that? 14. So starting here, I'm going to go but now I kind of like his music. I still don't like Soulja Boy. Okay, we're just going to say, if it's 14, we're going to say 13 this direction. Go ahead and finish this side off. That's 13. And then when I place this one here, that's 14. Now, unfortunately, since my, my road, look at this. See, now I've got a little road. Now I can run, like when I make the concrete, I can send it back this way and along the road and do that. But yeah, that's to me that's the difference between blackface and just being and people painting their face black. It's like all blackface is racist, but not all black faces are blackface. Minecraft had this ability, I think I've mentioned this already, I have very bad memory, so I had the ability to stand on a ledge. I just want to see how far this is going to go down. Yeah, I think this will be fine. How many stairs do I need to completely... I need 167. Let me take this down to the water level. Yeah, down to the water level. But only that section. I don't want to flatten all this out, I just want to flatten this part out. This is where I'm going to have my switching and all that kind of stuff. So I will need more than that for stairs. Trying to figure out. Okay, there we go. Oh no, you know what I should do? So this thing comes with multiple types of stairs. And if I use the different stairs, which is already kind of too late, but so you pull the right and you can get these long stairs, which is what the let's do this one here. Should have thought of this earlier. Well, I may just put a building here to hide it. Yeah, see? It goes further out, and it matches... Manas. We used to have we used to know this guy named Leo. to him. I think he went to Harvard. He was a Jewish kid. But it's funny. We're playing this game called Ark Survival Evolved. One of the funniest things that ever happened on there. In that game, you have to knock a thing out. You have to knock the dinosaur out in most cases. Feed it narcotics and kibble or some sort of food that they like, and then it would tame it, and then you could run around on it, and it was your, basically your mount that you would do combat stuff with. So he was taming a Quetzal. Don't know why. But back then they didn't have any special abilities like they do now. And he was taming it, and we're helping him out. We're walking him through it, trying to make everything good. And right at the last bite of kibble, he was not putting narcotics on it, and none of us were really paying attention. We were just, it's his dino. Part of the game is for you to tame stuff, right? And suddenly it just flies. It gets up and it flies off. And we're standing there like, what the fuck, And finally, we realized that it didn't have any kibble on it. It had woken up, and that was that. And that dude was crying. He was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it just woke up, and then it's flying away." And I admit I did laugh about. I did find it funny, but still, I mean, there we go. It's okay. I can erase those. I'm still gonna erase from here, but yeah, so anyways, that was pretty funny. I forgot what I was talking about though. Hold on. It'll come back to me. Yeah, this is very... I don't like placing stairs like this. Like the further you go down with the stairs, the more annoying it becomes. I think it was control. No, was it control right click? Nope. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this and at least get some of the stuff here done. I did learn something today, at least, is that if you win the lottery, invest it. That is what I learned today. Because even if you only had $100 million, you're still making a good amount of money back. Plus compounding interest. You don't spend all your money foolishly. You know what they say? A fool and his money are soon parted. Although I think it was a fool in his gold, because back then, it was gold. Also, no matter how much of a good investment your homie Jay, why am I picking on anybody? Your homie says, oh, I got this great idea for a business. Just give me $10 million and blah blah blah. Do not give him $10 million. I mean, unless you really want to. It's your life and it's your money. And like J.G. Wentworth says, You know, you spend it how you want to. But problem with giving anyone that kind of money is that you are now wondering if you're ever going to get it back. And when you don't have very much money and you loan somebody money, all you can think of is, you know, if I had that money, he owes me. And if some random person that you met is like, listen, I know you have a bunch of money, I know you're rich. All you have to do is just give me $100,000, and I am gonna make you a return on your money that you have never seen before. And the reason why you've never seen it is because you will never see that money again. Money is our problem in the United States and in the world. Everything we do is because of or for money. Now you could say, well, I do charity work, so that's not for money. I mean, okay, look, maybe you do charity work, and it's great for you. But if you take a tax write-off with the money that you've invested to charity, did you? Did you invest? Did you give to charity, or did you calculate that if you gave $60,000 to the wildlife fund, that you would get a really nice amount of money back in taxes, and that it would offset? You could say that you were generous, but at the same time, you also get to save a shit ton of money. And I ain't calling anyone out, because I do the same thing. Like, if my financial advisor said, look, after taxes and fees and blah blah blah, they're going to give you a check for this much money directly into your bank account. These are the bank accounts I suggest you use, because this way you keep your money protected, and blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff, you know. And I'm just going to nod along because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Fuck, lost my train of thought. Oh well. I'll come back to it later, one of these days. I'm sure it'll come back. I have a really bad memory. It's hard for me to... I either have, like, early onset, undiagnosed dementia, or who knows what the fuck's wrong with me. Because people always ask me, what the fuck's wrong with you? And it's like, you know what? If you ever figure that out, please let me know. Okay. So this is where I'm gonna have... So here's the plan. Alright? I'm gonna make my concrete out here because minerals are right there. And ignium ore is there. So what I'll probably end up doing is, since I got a fresh vein that I don't need to do anything else with, there of ignium ore, I will tear up my things, and I will move them down here as backup power. And then I will have that little extra room back there to do other stuff with, because the power is yours. No, the power will flow, because I'm going to move one connector this way and then up. It'll flow along here into the base, and I won't have to worry about power because I have a freaking full vein of ignium ore just right there. And it looks like I have this ignium, and then I have that ignium. And then if I ever need, and then I have xenoferrite, technium. So there we go. Now I got technium that I have to upgrade my drill charge for, xenoferrite and xenoferrite. And this doesn't say that I need to upgrade my drill, so that's easy to get to. Then I have lava cave shafts. I don't know how far I'm going to go out. Once I have the jetpack, I'll probably just fly around. But instead of feeding those burners the ignium ore directly, there was a... Okay, I can't access it. Wait, can I access it? No, I can't access it. And I don't want to make one. When I get back over that, but there's these containers that have like some sort of ignium blend stuff in it, and it's supposed to run a lot better. And so I have to go out there anyway. And I'll run, like I'm going to build probably 4, like maybe a 5x5 platform out here, and then run this in. But I ain't going to do that right now. This was just basically, I guess, me rambling and talking about financial stuff that I don't actually know very much about. In fact, I really should have waited to do that ramp, but whatever. Now I'm going to leave it in case I want to put other branches. Okay, so I'm going to... I think almost 2 hours is more than enough time, and there's nobody here anyway, so it's not like I'm yeah, it's just me, so it's not like anybody's here or will ever hear this. So the good thing is I have a bunch of stories to come back to retell that'll be more interesting than me just rambling on about it. While I'm on my way back, I'll tell a little short story that I'll expand on later. I was in Denver, Colorado, driving truck. It was middle of winter. It wasn't snowing, but it was cold. And I'm sitting there because I got nothing better to do until tomorrow when my load picks up at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sitting there. I'm waiting. I got my laptop out, which, you know, it was like a Radeon something, and it could play World of Warcraft and Minecraft, and that's about all I ever did on it, besides looking up maps and watching videos and stuff. So I'm sitting there, and I see a truck pick a woman up. I'm like, oh, somebody's getting them a hooker, because you know what the hookers look like. It's like porn. You can't really explain it, but you know what it looks like when you see it. And so this guy picks up this hooker. He pulls around, he backs in. I'm like, alright, he's getting him some, whatever. I wish I was getting me some. And I see something like stop. Like it was about like half an hour to an hour later. I see like out of the corner of my eye, a truck just kind of stopped in front of me. He just went and just stopped. And I thought, you know, maybe I pissed him off or something, just sitting here, you know. I was sitting, like instead of being parked in a way that there was 2 spots, I was parked in the middle of 2 spots. So there was me, and then there was a spot on the left, spot on the right. I thought he was going to be like, what the fuck? Could you just move over to make life easier for me? Which I would have done. When I parked there were trucks next to me, and they left, and now there's no trucks next to me. And I'm sitting there bobtailed anyway, so moving is no problem. I'm just not going to spend my time every time some truck moves, moving over a spot. But anyways, he stops, and you know, I don't have my curtains closed or anything. I have one curtain kind of pulled to keep the sun out of my eyes, so I can actually see my laptop screen. And this guy, something happens, and when he drives away, there is a naked, completely naked woman standing in front of my truck. And it takes me a few seconds to realize what I'm looking at. Like your brain doesn't expect to see a naked person standing in the middle of winter, you know, just right there. And she's like tripping, she's like tweaking, and before I could do anything, like I'm looking at her. She's naked. Um, and before I can really process what's going on, a guy kind of hops out of his truck with a blanket and runs over to her, and another person's like picking up her stuff and putting it inside of her bag and like getting her shoes and clothes and collecting them all for her, because she's like high as shit, and so was the other guy. And she's like, fucking truck drivers this, fucking truck drivers that. I fucking swear every time I'm doing work with a truck driver, they fuck me over and blah blah blah. And then I hear, as the police come there, I guess the drugs had loosened her lips, because she's like, yeah, I forgot what drug it was. It was like cocaine, or I think it was crack. I think they were doing crack. So she's like, yeah, we're doing crack, and then he suddenly thought I was an FBI person, and then he threw me out with all my stuff. We just got done fucking, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what happened. He got high, he was done with her, so he threw her out, and I don't agree with that. I don't think you should throw. I don't. First of all, I don't think you should have to hide that you're getting laid. I think you should just be able to pay someone to have sex. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a problem. And the police show up. She's telling the police how they were smoking crack and smoking drugs, and threw her out. And, they're gonna arrest her clearly, because she just admitted she was breaking the law and prostituting, breaking the law again. And if they really wanted to be assholes about it, they could get her for like public indecency and blah blah blah. Like they're gonna put everything they can on it and see what gets sticks and what is thrown out. And I found out later on, through the internet, that they'd caught him. He had basically driven to another truck stop and parked, which is kind of hard to find in Denver. So it had to have been like one of those mom and pop, there's like one of them that exists, and this is the one. And they caught him, and he went to jail, and he got like 4 years in prison or something like that for smoking crack and throwing a hooker out. Which I think there's a lot of drugs they can decriminalize, but maybe crack's not one of them. But if you want to do crack, you should be able to do crack in your house, not have to worry about it. I think that crimes that don't actually hurt anyone else, like if you were smoking weed and you got caught smoking weed and you didn't hurt anyone while smoking weed, that should just be like, listen, go home and smoke your weed. All right, we find you out here again smoking weed, we're gonna put you in jail for like a day, so that you can think about what you did, and we're gonna take your weed, and then we're gonna go smoke it at home where we should be. But like, if you're running around and you like rape someone, prison for you. But if you just, you was doing a little coke at your house and the cops busted in, and like, why? He's at his house. He ain't bothering nobody. If he dies, it's his right to die. You don't rush into someone's house and kick the plate out their hand for their fourth helping of spaghetti, right? You don't run in and like snatch all the cookies out of their house and say, hey, this is contraband. You're not allowed to have this. If someone chooses to do crack cocaine for 20 years and then die, or they choose to eat Oreos and Doritos and drink sodas and waste their life away that way, you should have the choice to do either of those things, as long as you ain't hurting anyone else. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, that was just a weird story. I have tons of those too. Like, there's tons. I have seen so much in 20 years of trucking. I literally saw a truck come up off of a ramp, fly through the air, and then slam down on the other side, and then keep going like nothing happened. If that guy was asleep when that happened, I bet his ass was wide fucking awake when he landed. Because I'm pretty sure that if you're going like 75 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour, and your tires come up off the ground where they can freely spin, pretty sure those RPMs go through the roof. So you're like, you're like, oh shit, and you're flying through the air. I guarantee you, if he lived through that, he was wide awake. He didn't go to sleep for the rest of his trip because I was driving one day at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was dead tired. I had an hour left to get there for a 3 o'clock in the morning delivery. I had legal hours. I was just tired as shit, and I dozed off, and I heard. It woke me up. I was wide awake because that was the rumble strip telling me that I almost died or almost rolled a truck. And I gotta say, I've never done that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to know what it feels like to roll around in a truck. I already know what it feels like to roll around in a car and a pickup. I don't need to know that. But anyways, if anybody ever comes along and watches this, thank you for watching it. Leave a comment if you want to, or don't. Thumbs it up. Everybody's saying to do that. I don't care if you do any of those things. It'd be awesome to see some likes, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not anybody special. I don't expect to suddenly have a following overnight. And the 27 or 28 people I have that have liked my channel over the years. Here's your content you're finally getting 10 years later. Me playing games nobody plays. In fact, I want to play Nintendo games, but I'm not sure if you're allowed. I mean, you should be allowed, but who knows? So, I tried playing, I think it was Legend of Zelda, and some random guy copyrighted, claimed my music as his, and it's not my music, and it wasn't his music. It was Nintendo's chiptunes from the game. So if anything, Nintendo could have claimed it, and I would have been like, you know what? I can't deny it. They do own the music. Anyways, have a nice day. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save game, and that's it. Which should make